gonna think something wrong with you. So you might want to just keep it 100. Keep it 100. What's good?
We back.
That.
We back.
Okay. We actually miss Taylor Talk. Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes though you have to. It's good to take a break. It's good too, because everybody start, like, oh, I miss where y'all at. Where y'all at? Sometimes if you give them too much, they be like, I ain't watching this Tuesday. So now I'm hoping everybody who's been asking, where are y'all at?
Where's Waldo?
Yeah, babe, why you have to get me to Swipersaurus?
Because it was inspired by you and your, what you like to call shop therapy.
Well, I haven't been.
I be telling y'all, like, if a wife get mad at me, I'm already knowing that bank statement, get ready to shift.
I spend a little.
Great move mountains and cast those into the sea.
Shut up.
Yeah, but we missed the platform, man. We missed building, hearing from everybody, But at the end of the day, we are human, and sometimes it's good to disconnect and connect with the Father, and be imparted too, so you have something to deliver. And we see that all too often in certain platforms, where you can tell people have lost that connection to the Father, so you get more of them, their pains, their traumas, their anger, and that's not what people come, to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can say truly, like, I've been on like I know a lot of people are like, I ain't seen you on Instagram, or asking me have I seen what they're doing, and I'm like, I just took a nice little break. And I was digging deep into like my word and the new books that I just purchased, and I went on earlier today, and I tried my best. I hope I did it right, but I put up like a little thing where you can get the new book that I'm reading, because, oh my God, she's just dropping so much knowledge that is so good for my spirit, man. And I feel like a lot of, I always like to speak on the women's behalf. I feel like a lot of women deal with everything that she's talking about in that book, which is giving your best yes to yourself and focusing on yourself, taking care of yourself. So I shared that with you guys. You can go on my Insta story, and I put like a little swipe up, and you can go on there and get that book, ladies. I think you would really enjoy it. So that's where I've been. That's where we've been. Sitting.
Searching.
Yeah.
Confirming things, asking God the least asked questions, and just dealing with the things that we encounter. But we stand tall, 20 toes down, and we out here. And before we get started, this is just one of them outfits where I need Sean Nice to just say the things that I can't say in a way that I can't say it.
It's been 2 Tuesdays. He's right. It's been 2 Tuesdays. Where you been, Sean? Sean? Okay.
Yeah, you look good, mama.
I've been doing nothing.
That's a whole leg right there. That's a whole leg.
Lamar and Taylor.
That's a whole leg.
Kendall.
Yes, ma'am.
Stop.
Sis, he gonna have the punchlines tonight now.
I'm scared.
All right.
I'm scared.
We ready to cook up, right?
Let's do it.
All right. Teaching others how to treat you. I didn't think that it would end like this. This is not how I desire to be treated. I feel like I'm suffocating. I only hear from them when they want or need something from me. I find myself always there for others, but when I'm in need, I'm forced to carry this alone. Nah, love is not supposed to feel like this. How does this keep happening to me? We could take the entire segment tonight and call out more of these emotional screams and silent chaos that we all have once carried inside or are still found carrying it at this moment. Too often we find ourselves at the very end of a particular matter, and likely at the very end of ourselves, only able to show a return of empty hands and broken spirits for what we have helped support, inspire, invest in, and encourage others. But what we're here to discuss tonight as real kings and queens is whether it's truly their fault or is it our own. In this lifetime, it seems all too often that we end up having to kill the very monsters that we feed and create. They bite your hand that fed them with the brand new veneers that you purchased.
Shut up.
They drive off while you're speaking your heart in the same car you helped co-sign. They stunt and flash hard on social media, full of pride and confidence, but turn in the humble service of the Lord When asked about that outstanding loan they can never seem to repay you back for. See, people will always push your lines of boundary and respect when we give them permission to do so. It is when we first find ourselves standing on that line of dignity that's the greatest opportunity to teach others how to treat us. Because trying to instruct someone how to treat you after time has lapsed and your suffering and silence has now become custom is truly hard indeed. Queen, let's talk about it. All right. If you would, your sexy self. Give an example of a season in your life when you were found being overrun by everyone else, having not taught others how you wanted to be treated.
Wow. I mean, we keep it real on Taylor Talk, right?
We don't put no bake on it.
We don't. Most of my life, if I want to keep it 100, most of my life, and part of that was a disease that I was carrying because I wanted to make everybody happy. So I started out at a young age with the yes, yes, yes. What do you want? Yes. How can I help? Yes. You know, I didn't like to see people on the side of the street homeless. I still don't like it today. So that's one thing that I will never change. But I always want to help. You know, I've had some friends in my life when we were younger. If they wasn't, you know, if their household wasn't, you know, what it needed to be, I would ask my mom, can they come stay with us? Like, that was, I'm a Cancer, I'm a server, I'm a nurturer. But a lot of that turned into like a very bad thing for me. So then when I got into the industry, I was like on 25 of just yes, whatever you need. So it had gotten a lot worse when I got into the industry.
And we're gonna go deeper. You know, I got it set up. On my end, it was just trying to be Superman to people who really didn't need saving. You know what I mean? Creating those monsters, paying this, picking up that tab, giving up my time, my hours, picking up for every phone call, because I've learned I was seeking validation to feel something that was missing in me. Yeah. And I did it by overextending myself and trying to, meet everybody else's expectations. And then once, I was on the phone with Partlow today trying to figure this out, but somebody said once, people's agenda is to make your agenda their agenda. Every day you cut on your TV, you look at ads, promo, social media, your music. Yeah. Everything is about them wanting you to bend towards their will, to their design, to their financial forecasting, to their benchmarks. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself like an octopus being pulled in every single direction to try to please everybody, meet everybody's need, maintain an image of yourself that's probably a lie, so you can save face in front of everybody else, and you end up going nowhere at the end of the day, you know?
I'm glad you said that, because, and I'm not throwing shots at the people who do this, but like even in my life now, I've realized that there are some people, like I say for my birthday, like don't give me a gift. You can tell me happy birthday, but you don't have to give me a gift. Or if I break my leg, you don't have to give me a gift.
Come by and ask, do you want me to cook for you?
Yeah, you don't, because I know me. And I think sometimes people do things with the intentions of you doing the same thing that they do, but that's just not me. Like, I don't even think I've been to the post office. Probably about.
I know where it's at.
I know where it's at. But ever since I've been in the industry, I've never had to do things like that. Like, somebody does it for me. And of course, somebody might sit back and say, well, you need to get better at that. Well, you need to, but I'm not going to get better at that because I don't want to do it. I don't want to send you a card for everything. Now, that may be your thing, and I appreciate it. And I think it's actually really dope. I be telling people, like, dang, that's like dope. Like, they come up with, but it's just not my thing. So at first, I used to feel bad. I used to feel really, really bad, like, and now as I'm reading more of the books that I'm reading, especially the one I'm reading right now, it's teaching me how to just sit back in the pocket and be who I am. So if you give me a gift, or if you go out of your way to do something, I'm going to respect that is in your nature and that's what you do. But please don't expect for me to do it back, because I don't have the time to sit and write and answer every call, and I just don't have the time. It does not mean that I don't love you. If you really, really need me, I'm going to be there, but I'm not even really a phone person. Ken and I both are not really
Facts.
telephone people.
We just be looking at each other like
I don't, and especially with me just telling y'all, like, for so much of my life I have gave. Now that I'm sitting in this pocket, I'm sitting back, like, I even leave my phone in the room while we in the theater room.
I never know where my phone is at. If you don't have my phone, I'm like, yo, babe, where's my phone? You might be like, I'm using it, or whatever the case may be, because you got to realize, Drake said this. He said, you ain't the only one trying to be the only one. And I know he was meaning in a different angle, but I feel that way. If I take every phone call and every email and every text that comes my way on a daily basis, I'll never get done what I'm trying to do with my day. So you robbing me of my time. So a way that I've learned to train people is I don't let anybody in my life other than my wife and my kids. My mama will tell you, feel like you can get me anytime you want to get me. You don't have a right to that. My first fruit goes to them, and then I get to decide when I'm going to email, when I'm going to respond, when I'm going to text back, make time for that call. So sometimes I intentionally do not reply to certain things because I'm trying to teach you, don't hit me with no business at 9 p.m. I'm cupcaking. Don't, manipulate my time and go ahead and make a demand on my time. So I have to teach people sometimes by just ignoring them and train them that, man, KT ain't great, hit me right back. I know you busy, bro. I appreciate you getting back to me because I'm not going to let you turn me into a slave of your own demise.
You said something to me one time, and I was like, I'm taking that and I'm running with it. You said, babe, you have to get rid of all the time robbers that are in your life. They are time robbers. And you also taught me something, too. Like now, if I call Rashia or I call Darikus, I'm learning not to be a time robber in his day because we talk every morning, me and D, every morning. Normally he called me clown and acting stupid. Or I'll do the same with him. That's my brother. But I noticed that on some days, if I'm dealing with something, I don't want to put that on him first thing in the morning because he's got to create his energy to go into the shop and be a leader for all of his people who work with him and be great energy for every person that sits down in his chair. If I call him every morning and I'm like telling him all my bad stuff, and you be honest, sometimes I'll be like, well, I'll just call you back. Now if he say, nah, go ahead, then I'll be like, okay then. If he say, and I respect this about my brother, if he say, okay then, I'll call you on my lunch break, I respect that because he's basically teaching me that I can't allow you to be a time robber in my day. Rashia is basically, or if Rashia will hold something all day long, and that night I'll be like, you okay? I have to pick it up in my spirit. I'll be like, you okay? And she'd be like, I'm good. I don't want to put that on you. And I respect that. Because a lot of time people just want to call you to put their, I got a problem. Hey, I got a problem. And it's like, well, you actually time robbing me because I had set 12 o'clock today to read for a couple of hours. And then after that, I was going to go up there and get on a bike and do me some cardio. So you have to teach people how to not rob you of your time. And I'm loving the feeling. I'm loving it.
You said something that wasn't in here, but you hit it dead on the head, Queen. I'm very leery and cautious of those emotional transactions. There's certain people that call my phone that I'm going to have to give you so much. I know you never have anything positive to say. I know you never have anything to offer. You don't have a word for me. And it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon and I got a whole day that I'm trying to accomplish things that I don't even think I'm capable to do. I can't take that phone call because that you're going to transfer that emotion onto me. And then that momentum, that energy, that inspiration, that motivation I had. Now I'm sitting here stuck feeling a way about you. Or now I'm worried about COVID. Or now I'm worried about who got, robbed or who got put out their house. So I have to be very careful of that emotional transfer. I'm really weighing that out when I get my call. I'm debating, should I take this call? And if I can't, I got to block you out.
Pretty much.
Facts.
Go ahead. I got something I want to say out of the book I've been reading.
I'm going to wait for you.
I can't never say the woman's last name, Terkusa something, Liza something. I don't know, but I posted the book, so please go and get it. But she has said, we must not confuse the command to love with the disease to please. Say that again. We must not confuse the command to love with the disease to please. So it's a disease. And again, it doesn't mean I don't love you and care about you. Can I be honest about something? And I know that Darikus can amen to this. when I was going through everything that I was going through in the beginning, it was so heavy on me that all I could talk about was that, like, I had become the victim, and hurt was a comfortable place for me because that's all I was used to, was being hurt. And so now that I'm sitting in a pocket, I realize when I see other people who are hurt, and that's all they want to talk about is hurt stuff, I want to say so bad at that time, you know, you're going to have to switch up. You're going to have to fight for a different way of thinking. You're going to have to fight for a different crowd of people. You're going to have to fight because misery loves company. So you start to surround yourself with everybody else that's hurt. You start to get on the phone and it's gossip hurting this person. Right in the morning, as soon as you wake up, it's drama. You have to surround, but sometimes you can't tell people that. You just have to be a light for them to look at you and say, what? I be trying to tell her, but it just fly right over her head. Okay, I'm watching how she walk. I'm watching how she handle things. I'm watching how she dodge stuff. And then that person will eventually start coming to you saying, I'm working on, and that's when you start saying, I'm proud of you. Because that's where I've been waiting on you to get there. Because at the end of the day, drama's going to happen every day, all the day. But you can't allow it to take over your mind, take over your spirit, man, take over your day. Because if you do, you won't accomplish anything. She also said, a woman who lives with the stress of an overwhelmed schedule will often ache with the sadness of an overwhelmed soul. So if you're constantly always, drama, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and you're not taking no time out for yourself, and you're not teaching people how to treat you, then you have an overwhelmed soul, and that you can't accomplish anything.
If you rocking like that, you wouldn't know peace if it slaps you in the face. And there's a thing called organized confusion and chaos. And when you're used to it, and you're used to dysfunction, when you have moments of peace, moments of silence, you subconsciously fill it with something that feels comfortable to you. And the best example is I was in a conference one time and they said, how many people can go home and put the keys on the counter and just sit there with no radio, no TV, no phone, just sit in that still silence? No, we have to fill it with something. And if you're not careful and you're trying to get out of chaos and you're trying to get out of dysfunction and you're trying to get out of unorganized atmospheres, when those moments of peace introduce themselves to you, invest peace back into it. Yeah. Don't fill it up with somebody coming by your house. Don't fill it up with this particular show. If God called you to peace some nights, don't fill it up with the Taylor Talk show. Like, sometimes you need peace and you have to make certain sacrifices so that peace can find you worthy to continue to invest in you, because peace is a gentle spirit. And if you don't caress it, if you don't court it, if you don't nurture it and romance it, then it will leave and find somewhere else where it is welcome.
Yes. I like that. I have always wondered, and if there's any church going kids on here that was going to church every day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No, I'm serious. You grew up in church. You're a church goer. I've never understood at the age of 36 getting into my word now and coming into the understanding for myself, because I grew up in church, but we just would go listen to what the preacher had to say and go home and do whatever. But you have to go and study your word. I've always wondered why people, they talk about the prayer part, but they leave out the meditation part. And I said that because you were saying how many people can walk in their house, put their keys down, not turn on the TV, not turn on the radio, not get on the phone, just sit in stillness. Meditation is all through the Bible.
Facts.
Am I right?
Facts.
The reason why we are so all over the place is because we pray and get up and go. If you don't pray and afterwards meditate to hear what God has to say, to answer you and give you direction, to tune out all of the chaos that in 2020 we see, then you're going to pray, and as soon as you get up, you're going to go right on your phone, and social media you're going to make you feel less than, insecure, like you don't have enough, like you're not going anywhere. You have to sit in stillness. Earlier today, I'm not sure if my sister-in-law is watching. I was supposed to call my sister, and I knew that I had things that I set out for Taylor Talk Tuesdays that I do for myself to prepare myself. And I called her. After I got through reading that one chapter, I called her. She didn't pick up, so I left her a message, and I said, hey, I'm going to call you back later tonight because I'm about to go into my prayer time and my meditation time. And she didn't get the message, but she called me right back, and I didn't answer. Now, the old me would have been like, nah, I got to pick up. And then I would have been on the phone for probably about 30 minutes to an hour just catching up and loving on her as she loves on me. But I had to stand on that because that is something that I set out for myself. So sometimes you got to sit in stillness. You got to be still. How can you start a business? How can you be a better wife? How can you be a better mother if you don't ever sit still to hear from the man?
I want to play with that for 2 minutes, and I'm gonna jump back on the jump. But I've been there before. Trust me. But the reason why a lot of people, especially men, why your prayers are not being answered or you're not receiving a confirmation that you're looking for is because it's a one-sided conversation. Someone had to teach me that. They say you got a powerful prayer. But how do you know when God is speaking? If you pray and you get back up, it's a one-sided conversation. And like our other talks, when we talk about dominating and learning how to communicate, God is no different. He deserves a chance to speak. And when you don't hear from the Most High, you'll go over there and you'll see two naked cats walking across the street. And you'll be like, that's a sign of confirmation. 2 means confirmation. And then you go do something real stupid and be like, God, I saw you in that. He was saying, I ain't had nothing to do with them cats. I had nothing to do with those 2 feathers that fell on your desk in the office, and you felt like, nah, you got to listen to the Most High. And lastly, I'll say, remember Elijah, right? God comes in that still small voice. He said he wanted to see God's face. He was like, yo, you can't handle seeing my face. You know what I mean? But I'll pass by you. So he felt the wind that about blew him off of the mountain. You feel the shaking. It felt like an earthquake. And then the Most High passed by in a still small voice. Like, God's not going to overtalk you. He's not going to dominate. He is the elite when it comes to self-control. So it has to be a two-way conversation. So therefore, there's prayer and meditation. It's in the meditation part that he tends to speak. Not always. I'm not telling you, I'm not coming off like that, but I am saying in that still small time, you'll figure out how to position yourself to make sure people treat you correctly. You'll learn how to say no. Because there's a science behind it. And when you don't fully understand it, just remember that saying no to that person is really just saying yes to yourself.
Ooh, come on.
I'm not saying no to you. I'm learning how to say yes to me. Because if I keep giving you all the thumbs ups and the check marks, and I end up on E and diminish. So don't take it personal. I'm not saying no to you. I'm not giving you a no. I'm just learning how to tell Kendall yes.
I'm going to give an example. I'm going to put Shine Nice on the spot.
Nice.
He texted me one day and was like, sis, I'm bored. Let's do a Friday or something. Let's do, let's play some music. Let's get in. And because I'm sitting in the place that I am now I would have been like, my brother bored. Let's do it. He do so much for us. Anytime we call him, he is there. But I had to stand on this one thing, and I felt like when we had the conversation, I passed something down to him that he'll take from here and be like, he'll pass it on too.
Exactly.
He was like, let's do something. And I said, well, it's nice. Here's the thing. You can do it if you want to. I said, but I'm going to fall back because my grandmother always told me if you give people too much of you, if you give them too much, they'll never pay for you. They'll never, it's almost like, who was that talking about the Pope the other day? They was like, you can't see the Pope unless he peep out at the top of the
Pope be in that glass box. You can't even breathe the same air he breathes.
It be people out there just waiting on him. They think he coming out. They be like, but I'm not saying that I'm the Pope, and I'm not saying that I'm anything. I'm just saying that sometimes you have to fall back and not give so much. And you text me back and he was like, you know what? You're right. And so that wasn't me. The old me would have never done that. But it's almost like I'm to a point now where I can't, going through everything that I went through, giving to everybody that was in my life, and looking around and not seeing any of them here now. Number one, I was buying love and I was buying time. It pushed me to a point where I can't do it. I can't even lie, and I have to give myself the best yes, which is I can't do it. I got to take care of Tasia. I set this up. I made this decision, and I got to stand on it. And so when I realized that I was going to that place and I'm sitting in it, doors are opening for me like crazy. Things are happening in my life that would never happen. I feel at peace. I don't have any anxiety anymore. Ken will tell y'all, I walk around this house so zen. Honey, if you walk in the house, you're definitely going to smell some incense. You're going to feel something. Because if I don't do that, I'm going to lose Fantasia. And she will die. And she will die. She will die because she has been so selfish and taking care of everybody else and not taking care of herself. I'm talking about myself in third person, but you get what I'm saying?
Well, I never thought of that till you just said it. Even like we're so focused on proving to other people we're not selfish, we end up being selfish in the first place because we ignore the main player. We ignore ourselves, our needs, our health, our budget, our goals to please other people. And you just have to have that right balance. But at the end of the day, if you don't have anything to give, what does that leave you at the end of the day? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Derekus told me something one time when I was like, still trying to do for everybody. He called me and was like, how did you say it? You know that thing that when they say your cup runneth over? He was like, you done gave everybody what runs over. What's in the cup belongs to you. And I was like, what? He was like, what's in the cup belongs to you. What's running over, they can have it, but save some for yourself. And I was just like, yo, that's what's up. Yeah.
All right. So why is it that we wait until we have been damaged, broken, and mistreated before we actually put a greater value on ourselves? Usually it's when we have been left abandoned. We're on a deserted island, no oasis in sight. At that point, we start making demands for ourselves and we start raising the standard and we start, upping the price of what we're worth. Why does it, and there's no perfect answer, I'm just curious, why does it take being almost utterly destroyed in order to actually place a price of value on your life that you're then ready to enforce?
Because you don't know your value until you go through those things. You don't know your value. I can only speak for myself. I didn't know. I was like, I'm from High Point, North Carolina. I just want to love everybody. I just want to be here for y'all. We don't talk like that, but I don't know why people, when they start talking like people from down south. But you don't know your worth until you go through that. I think it's intentional, and I think it's necessary. It's all like the test for the testimony. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to be pushed and pressed in order to get to that fine wine, So for me, I had to go through that. I had to, and it would take weeks to go through some of the stuff that I went through, but I had to go through it in order to realize my value and who I was.
I totally agree with you, like hands down. Like, how can I put it? Until you go through certain things, you don't know your worth. Until you realize how other people are dependent on you, you don't know your worth. Because what they say, somebody will always give you a hand up until you an equal level, you're on an equal playing field. People would always give me advice as long as I was up and coming. But then when my balance sheet started looking like their balance sheet, now all of a sudden, not only can I not get wisdom and a lunch with you anymore, now we're competitors and there's envious and covetousness taking place. So there's probably no other way. But I wanted to ask that question because you do have people who are sitting in that pocket of saying, I know I'm in a jacked up situation. And it's important for them to not look down on themselves, to not allow shame and regret to consume and drown you, but also realize that you have leverage to build yourself back up because you are providing things for other people. They have become dependent on your routine and your schedule and your pocketbook and your wallet. So where you may feel like you're the victim, if you simply snap and change your perspective, you can realize the power and leverage you have for your life. And then you can start to reorchestrate what you imagine and dream your environment to look like. Yeah.
I love that. I was talking to Derekus earlier when he was doing my hair. And I was just like, do you find being gifted a lonely place? I'm asking because I know you have to go through this same thing too.
Yeah. I feel like that sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. Being gifted is a lonely place. And Derekus was like, all the time. So I was like, that's when I started being a woman. I'm like, you lonely, you good? He was like, I'm straight. I like being by myself. But, you know, it's harder for women. Men are different, but it's harder for women. I used to, you know, I never knew how to ask somebody that because you be, you know, for me, I've always humbled myself and never looked at myself as a celebrity. I'm just Tasia. We talked about that one time on Taylor Talk, but now I can say it like being gifted and called to be something great is a lonely place to be. And I've tried my best to like link with certain women, like, and I feel like they're like trying to look straight through me, like they just be looking, and I'd be like, so you ain't got nothing to talk about, like, hey, you want to come over? Let's have some tea, girl. Let's drink some wine. And they just be looking, and then I see them get with other women, and they're like looser and having a ball, having fun, laughing and kiki, and I'm sitting in the corner like, well, what was wrong with me? And I realized that sometimes you just have to accept the fact that being gifted and being called is a lonely place. Thank God for my husband, because now I got my ace, and now y'all done messed up, because I don't want to go get our nails done now. I'm straight. We'll just go to the mountains, me and my boo-boo. I tried to give you a chance. And you know, it's almost like it's a competitive world, too, that I'm in. Because say what you gotta say. It's just harder for some women. I want to say to some of the women who are watching and you're dealing with that in your job, or you're dealing with that amongst your family, because sometimes it happens with siblings. Sisters don't like sisters because you think your sister thinks she all of that, and y'all did more for her and she went to school. Y'all bought her car, didn't buy me a car. And it's like, well, did you not notice that maybe you wasn't doing some of the things that I was doing, and people are saying, I will celebrate you on your come up. I see you going up, so I want to be a blessing into your life. Like, did you not sit back and think, maybe I need to switch up on my feet, and my parents want to see me be greater, but I just want to sit back and complain? Like, it's something that as women we've got to break and understand that I salute you, queen. You're a queen. Like, we should be able to link up. Let's stop the competitiveness. Let's stop the jealous stuff. Let's stop it. And then that way we can all be one. I'm going to teach you how to treat me. If you can't come up with me, then don't come over here.
I like that. If you can't come up, don't come over.
That was so country. They won't come over here. Thank you, Sean. You softened it up. I did mean it, because I'm like, look, I'm tired of trying. If you don't want to go where I'm going, then bye.
And what is that about? I mean, we know what it's about, because we build, we pull out the books together, you know. But it's just this thing in our culture where, especially with men, where you see another successful brother and you're quicker to hate and exercise jealousy than to ask him for the blueprint, or you watch with the intention to plot and you're looking for a misstep instead of looking at his good steps. And look at the way he's bopping through the same challenges and hurdles and opposition that you have to face. Instead of trying to criticize, you should be trying to figure out, you know what I mean, how he walks in them shoes. You know, what comes with that footprint. It's almost second nature not to hate. But it takes a lot more spiritual fortitude and emotional management to sit back and be like, okay, man, how did he do that? Yeah. Or if I can't do the same thing, how can I apply it to another industry or another environment where I can have success? Like, hating to get you nowhere.
I always tell you, if I had a chance to sit in a room with Oprah, Iyanla Vanzant, Sarita Jakes, I can keep naming. If I had the opportunity to just sit in the room, the last thing I'm gonna be sitting in there thinking is, well, I could probably do it better than Oprah because I'm younger than her now, and I could probably, man, please, right. They got so much wisdom.
I crave
They'd
those
have been
rooms.
through. Oh my God! I would be in there with a tape recorder just listening, and I'll be asking them, "Can I get you anything?"
You know what I mean?
Oh, for real, because I haven't lost my spirit of serving. I haven't. I will serve my elders. I will serve them because they're full of wisdom, and I need them to teach me. I will sit down and humble myself and serve, and whatever they're willing to give me, I'm taking. I get that for free.
Yeah,
I'm taking it.
And I desire that more than anything. Like, I've had more mentors disappoint and upset me than a little bit. And I had just, and still have grown tired of men posturing themselves as a certain manner. And then over time, I end up realizing I either know more than you, and where I don't know more than you than knowledge, I walk with more integrity. Yeah. Or, you know, you want a mentor to guide you and lead you, but then they become more fascinated with our marriage and who you are that you miss the sight. You got this brother who's hungry for knowledge. So, you know, I yearn for those rooms where I walk in and I really have no weight to say anything. I just want that poured into me. And I know God gonna bring it in his own time, but need more elders and more generals, man, who are intentional about succession and passing off that wisdom. They say every time an old person dies, we lose a library. We lose all of that wisdom, all of those teachings, but anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm saying. I like it. I'm liking this.
All right. Let's do it this way. Okay, real quick. I want to play with it. I want to hear what you guys say, Queen.
Okay.
So, give an example or just anything that you feel comfortable detailing, whatever, where, and I know we kind of done it here, but just in case we miss anything, of a scenario or an event where you were fully aware, you knew things weren't lining up the way you wanted to, and you knew how to put things in position to make sure you began being treated the way you desired to be treated.
I gotta figure this thing out. So I'm gonna say it was a situation that I was in where I was working with someone, and God started showing me dreams and visions, and I just started picking up stuff. Matter of fact, people started coming to me, telling me things like, yo, blase, 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 blase. I didn't even know you knew how to do this, because they were saying, don't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I was like, huh? And it started happening back to back to back to back. And so my example of showing that person that I really didn't know what I was doing was I switched up my feet, and I wasn't no longer working with that person, but they thought I was still working with them. But in the meantime, I was signing other deals that group of people didn't know about. And then once I signed the deal, I then gave the call and was like, yo, so because I think the deal was always on the table, but that group, that team that I was working with was telling me that, those people wasn't really interested in me. They didn't like me. They just don't even think about them. And the whole entire time I was talking to those people. And so that was the moment for me where I realized that I was tapping into I know my worth. And this ain't it. This ain't cool. So I never forget that day. It just felt so good. I called and I was like, yo, so have you heard from such and such? And they was like, no. And I was like, I have. I done signed the deal.
By the time you read this, it's too late.
It was too late. So I had realized my worth, and it felt so good. And I couldn't go and tell the world, because I don't play tit for tat. I'm a king's kid. I don't have to do that. I allow God to fight my battles. But that felt so good. It was like, who's the dummy now?
That was beautiful to watch too. Like that was a dope situation.
Woo, it felt so good. I can shout right now, nice, but you ain't got no shout music, do you? Yeah. You need to find some shout music. I be wanting to shout on Tuesdays. Okay, now find me some, because by the time we end this, the Ricans be ready to shout. So get ready.
All right, I'm gonna play with a hustle scenario. Okay. By the time everybody knew I was your husband, they knew about this company that I had. You know what I mean? Yeah. They knew about this company that I had. You got to understand that I am a natural born hustler. I am a hard worker, and I am very quick to adapt. So the last time I got out of jail, I went to go work for this company. I was 28 years old, and I was paid $7.25 an hour. I was sweeping floors. I was taking out trash. I was doing bottom work. You know what I mean? But again, 3 felonies, don't know where to turn. I'm going to do whatever I got to do with a spirit of excellence. So I took pride in all those things. I started learning the business, started learning the route, so on and so forth. So I was driving on my route one day, and I saw this van on the side of the road. So I was like, yo, we're going to cop that. I told my brother, we're going to cop that. We bought a little minivan, a 98 Windstar. We took all the seats out of it. And I was like, well, we could deliver packages in it. It ain't a cargo van, but it'll move. I did it again. Bought a van, bought a truck, bought a wheelchair van. So I got my company up to about $500,000. And the company who was giving me business was like, yo, if you can come in and do, he basically said, I don't know how you're making money. I know what I'm giving you the routes for, but you getting new vehicles and you're moving downtown. You got a nice townhouse. He was like, if you could do this for my business, then I'll give you XYZ. I said, okay, bet. I did it in 6 months. I doubled his portfolio. I went from $1 million of new business. And what the deal was that when we got to 3 million, 5 million, I began to take completely over at $2 million. I took over, and benchmarks were set where they were supposed to move out of the company, and instead they started bringing more family in and started, we was having that conversation where, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and buy them out, and we're gonna keep it moving. They weren't gonna do it. So long story short, I decided to walk away. And in that moment, I had to really trust God. He said, the vengeance is mine, I shall repay. Because I could have took everything. They were my employees, my customers, my technology. So we talked about it, and that's when we decided to partner. I said, okay, I'm going to just take my hands off the wheel. But I'm not going to show you how I do what I do. And that was in October of 2016, I think. October 2017 to the month. We sitting there, my phone started blowing up. They lost every contract. They lost the building, lost the drivers, lost everything. And that was a similar situation where it was like, okay, I'm gonna teach you how to treat me. I'm not gonna take this offer that you gave me that I know I'm worth more than. I built before I could build again. And that's what we've done since that time, because your situation happened and then my situation happened within the span of about 6 months. So we were both in the same situation. But I think we're doing pretty good.
I think, but that both of us had to teach people how to treat us.
Facts.
Because we cared so much. And I remember you saying the thing that was on your heart was like, my drivers, my people who would go to bat for you, who love Mr. Taylor. And I told you then, I said, but you know what? We know it's not our fault. God's got them. You can't stay, because if you continue to stay, that's all they'll see you as, is a man that'll take every lick, every punch. Even a fighter in the ring gets tired and can't take but so many punches. So I'm proud of you for standing. I'm proud of me for teaching people how to treat us. You know what I mean? Close that deal, honey. Who's the dummy now?
All right, we're going to close a bomb and a jingle.
You got something to say? Where your mic at? You want a mic tonight? Oh, you ain't got it in your hand? Here he go, on one.
So close it like this. What would you say to the sisters listening who find themselves being silent regarding the treatment they are experiencing in any given situation? What would you like to say as we close?
Don't be silent. Speak up. Speak up for yourself. Love on yourself. Understand that we've all been called for something great. And if you allow people to mute you, your greatness and your assignment that you have been given on this earth will never be done. And when you get to heaven, and I don't know if you're a believer, whatever the case may be, but I'm going to say, when you get to heaven, you want your Father to look at you and say, well done, my good and faithful servant. So don't allow anyone to mute you, not in a relationship, not family members, not business partners. Don't allow anyone to mute you. You have a voice, and you deserve to be heard, and you deserve to teach people how you want to be treated. It's okay. They may go silent on you after you tell them how you're supposed to be treated. They might go away for a little while, but they will be back, because the one thing that I learned, Kendall told me this, even when he's with Dallas. I used to baby Dallas so much, and he was like, he wants discipline. He wants discipline in his life. And I sit and I watch, and I be like, okay, if I say something to Dallas, he goes into this pouty, I'm mad. But Kendall said in a whole nother way, whole nother tone. And then he come back in 5 minutes and be like, look what I just made. So people like to see other strong people. If you allow people to run over you and mute you, then they're going to do that for the rest of your life. But if you tell them what's good, they'll be back because they respect that. So, yeah.
I would say to the kings who are tuning in, first of all, salute just for being present. But I would say this, don't be silent. That's emotional weakness. I used to do that. I used to think that being silent, not saying something, not complaining was strength, but what it was emotional weakness. And when you do speak, you need to speak as a king and speak to the situation and not that person. That way you can manage your emotions. That's where I used to mess up. It's going to be hard speaking to that person, but speak to the situation. And then last, understand that nobody is accountable for what they don't know. Nobody's mind readers. And sometimes we hold people to these expectations of these daydreams and fantasies we've created in our head, but they haven't been communicated. So people are not accountable for what you have not communicated, and you got to take a step further because you're a king. They're not responsible for what they have not agreed. Because a lot of times people are like, well, I told you, I said something. Okay, yeah, you did. What else? I'm still going to move this way. So people are not accountable for what you have not told them, and they are not responsible for what they have not agreed to. Once they agree, then you can hold them accountable to what you feel, any kind of expected outcome, and you can make that stance in that posture. Salute. You look good tonight, girl. I swear for Lord.
We're doing good. You were doing good. You were doing good.
It was a struggle, though.
You were doing good. Doing good. Be good. Be good.
But you are doing better.
Be good again.
I'm telling you.
He got the mic.
He better come on, because I see a snack and a to-go plate. where Mama Tupperware at? You look good.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Derek.
Hi, Derekers.
I think y'all forgot we were here. Oh, we here. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Here he go. Okay.
So, I'm going to throw some things out, and I just want y'all to speak to the people.
Okay.
Sometimes holding on does more hurting than letting go.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes you got to love people enough to let them go. You know what I mean? Especially because you could be toxic in their lives, and you could see what you're doing and bringing to the table, and especially if you're not in a position where you're ready to dig deep and work on yourself. Working on yourself is hard. It's scary when you got to change things that you've been doing for years. I know for a fact, like, it was easy for me to be the victim. It was easy for me to be hurt. Everybody was trying to hurt me because I've been hurt. Da, 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 da. But when you look yourself in the mirror and actually dig deep, that's a process. So sometimes you have to love people enough to let them go, because I'm going to switch it up, because you know right now you can't bring what you need to bring to the table. You got some work to do on yourself.
That's a fact. And at the end of the day, why hold on to something when it has no value? Yeah. What it is you're accustomed, and you don't know how to fill that void with something more productive. So you hold on to it because of the fear of the unknown. But we keep, in all of our kind of conversations, in the unknown, in the unfamiliar, and the areas you can't control, that's where God stands tallest. And we try to control things too much. Yeah. Therefore, you're being God in your situation. But when you let go of that and you hold on to him, now he has an accountability and responsibility to be your provider, your sustainer, your redeemer, your healer, so on and so forth. But as long as you're holding on to these reins over here, he's not bound to have to do anything. Let go and let God. Ain't that what they say? Seems cliche, but facts.
I'm shouting at the end of this, so get the music.
Do you feel saying no most of the times hurt you more than it hurts the other person?
Well, not when you learn how to treat people how to treat you.
What?
No.
Like an investment.
What? You know what I mean? You be like, no. I'll tell Zion in a minute. No. And I don't care about a little puppy eyes, because now I'm realizing if I don't start saying no, and I just got through talking about this earlier today, I'm trying to train my girl up to be a smart queen, a wise queen, a wealthy queen. And I can't give to her just because she's my child. I'm not going to do it. So the answer is no. She ready to start her business that her pops put together for her, but she's not ready. She ready, but she ain't ready. And she keep calling me with this dumb stuff. And I'm like, nope, come again. I know it hurts. But no.
I've been cutting out here. My wife be like, yo, I wish I could be more like you. And I said, I wish I had more of a heart like you. I have a good friend. You might be watching. You know what it is. You know, came to me with a business proposition and an investment. Seems like a reasonable opportunity, but it doesn't fit our business model. It doesn't fit the portfolio we designed for ourselves. And I told the brother, while it's a great opportunity, I thank you for considering me. Neither I, you, or the other person involved are experts in this industry. There's just too many risks and liabilities. I'm not focused on this big number return you putting up there. I'm not going to put my family and our finances at risk for nobody. And I have to walk away and say no. I said respectfully. That's it. When it comes to certain things, when I stand on what I believe, I have a responsibility. My no is for me and my family. So no. Yes. You see how she look? No. Negative.
Next question, D.
Yes. Most people feel like they have to be a mentor. But TD Jakes said this: we don't need no more mentors. We need more models. Mentors spend most of the time talking you into something or out of something. Wow. Models allow you to see.
Wow. We all walk around screaming this thing, but we really don't do it. I stand by it. Say less. Yeah. Me and my son was on a text today, and he said, "Man, I got something real dope I'm about to share with you, Pop." I'm like, "Yo, I can't wait." I said, "I salute you for moving in silence." And I said, I'm over here doing the same thing. Now I can run down deals we close, boom, boom, boom. I said, you know what, son? I keep so much. I just bit my tongue. I said, I keep so much to myself, I forget what I'm not supposed to tell nobody. I keep so much stuff to myself that I forget what I'm not supposed to tell nobody. You're stupid. Say less.
I can't with you. I get a lot of young girls that come to me and ask me or text me or they want me to mentor them, but I love what you said. Again, I don't have that much time right now because I'm working on me and fully committed to Fantasia. But I feel that my walk and you know how I carry myself is the best mentorship. What I post, what I I feel like that's the best. So TD Jakes is right. We don't need no more mentors. We need somebody doing it. And I feel like at this point in my life, I'm doing it. So it can get scary. You can get scary because people get codependent. And if you ain't there to pick up the phone, then it's like we done had 25 conversations. And you mean to tell me you can't use none of that on the one time you didn't get me? That means you just like talking to me now and I'm becoming a crutch. So I just try to stay, kind of.
Like in the prison program I'm working on, like there's a segment in there called Virtually Killing Excuses. Because like myself, I don't have a physical mentor, but I got internet. I got Amazon where I can order any book I want. Yeah. There's so many great people out here who have left nuggets, but people don't want to put in the work. So do you really want a mentor? Because I got a bunch of mentors on my shelf upstairs. Wow. I got a lot of mentors I can go to on my phone. Yeah. There's a lot of mentors on YouTube where I get fed all the time in online classes that I commit my time to. What you want somebody to babysit you and remind you every day that yes, you can do it. Yes, you can. And I need you to. Nah, we don't have that kind of time no more. So if you're looking for a mentor, it's only a click or a push button notification away.
And a lot of that time needs to go to God. Mm-hmm. A lot of that time needs to go to God. It's just like I'm gonna play with myself. I remember I used to go to church when I was going through stuff. I would go to church and be like, I just need the preacher to say something to me. I want him to walk down the aisle. I want him to look at me, and I need him to have a word. I need a word. But I'm starting to realize that when I open my book, God always gives me the word I need, and I be tickled. Like, there it goes. Sometimes he be like, yo, y'all so busy running to such and such and running over here, running over there, but here I am. What about me? I'm the gift giver. I'm the healer. I'm the protector. I'm the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning, the end, the first, the last. I created all of this. What about me? Next, go ahead, D.
Do you feel you can help people so much that you forget what you need? I want to give you a short story. A few years ago, I was out to eat with a friend, and she asked me, she said, hey, D, she said, what makes you happy? And I thought about it for a minute, and then I said to her, if I can go to bed at night and nobody's mad at me and I've came through for everybody, I'm happy.
Go ahead.
That didn't work for me. I learned this in junior high, middle school, getting bullied. I used to get bullied a lot. Like, I didn't just end up throwed off. I was throwed off. I had this one dude said, white boy, that was my nickname. He said, it's going to end with fire, so start it with fire. That's just what I started doing, bro. If it was an issue, pride. But I used to have this one, my New Year's resolution always was going to go to school when no dude's going to want to jump me. I'm going to get along with everybody. We ain't going to have no problems. I didn't know it was an anointing at that time. I thought it was either being light-skinned or because the girl liked me or because I could play ball or whatever the case may be. But sometimes people going to just mess with you to mess with you. How do I want to close this out? So I'm not in the business of toleration. I don't want to tolerate things. I look for an even exchange. Respect, consideration, kindness. If there's anything that's not in that realm right there for me, I don't want to be a part of it. I'm not going to show up. I'm not going to be committed. I'm already okay with the fact my mom taught me earlier. She said, you're going to find very few people who are going to be a friend to you, Kendall, at the level that you're going to be a friend. I accepted that. But what you're not going to do is slow or pull me down.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Well, I used to be a lot like Dorikas. I wanted to please everybody. Until I started realizing they still wasn't happy.
More and more, see.
Dang, are you kidding me? I bought all the crab legs, all the potatoes, all the corn, all the liquor, brought in the DJ. I made sure they had somewhere to stay. I let everybody sleep at my house, or I bought hotel rooms. Then I had to sit up all night and hear about what you was going through, and I decided to give you $1,000 so you could pay it off. And you still left with a problem. No, I am not here for it. I realized that I would even go, listen, y'all, I would be at award shows and I'd be the only one in the back on some like, hi, how are you? Hey, everybody. And still would leave feeling like, you think I did something wrong? Because everybody was acting all weird. It was like, no, you're trying to do too much. Sit in the pocket, go in your dressing room. And some people don't want to be spoken to. Some people don't like to speak. That might be a Southern thing. Hey, y'all, everybody don't want to speak. So go in your room and stop trying to please everybody. No. I quit. I'm sick of that. I ain't got no water in this cup. No.
Maybe God has already answered your prayers, but you're looking for another answer. Maybe God is teaching you and you're not learning.
Yeah, that goes back to you planning out your life and how you want it to be, and it's never going to go that way because God has already, orchestrated everything how it's going to be. Maybe you just got to sit back and enjoy the ride and thank Him the whole way through. Maybe you got to do that.
I don't have much to say other than make sure what you're asking for is not going to come between you and God. I'm not going to give my daughter or my sons anything that I know is going to harm them, cause them to not see me as their father, and disrupt the family dynamic that we work so hard to create and uphold. The Most High is wiser than I am. He sits higher than me. He is all-knowing. So if this is the way I rock and cook up with my squad, then why would the Most High give you that dude, give you that woman, give you that car that's going to put you in debt? You're already coming in upside down. Sometimes we have to just kind of reevaluate the things that we're asking the Most High for and be okay with His will being done, because He's not going to give you something that's going to destroy your connection to Him, your faith, or your life.
Okay, this is the last thing. I'm going to give y'all a chance to redeem yourself because y'all didn't do so well the last time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have to play.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to play these. I'm gonna
Yeah,
teach you how to treat me.
Yeah,
I don't have to play this game.
No, listen. This is my segment. So I'm going to give y'all a chance to redeem yourself. I'm going to give y'all some lyrics, and of course, it's in the middle of the song.
I'm going to be honest. I don't want to mess up. I was so looking at my wife smile. Can you say that again one more time?
He's throwing lyrics out again.
Lyrics
okay,
out.
bet.
I'm going to give you guys a chance to redeem yourself because y'all didn't do so well.
Yeah, I fell off.
Okay, here we go.
How do you love songs? You know I'm a trapper.
But this is on topic tonight, and so that's a little hint. Here we go. All this love, yes, it's yours. More needs to your perfections. Say the word. If I make a wrong turn, just give me some directions. It's your world. You can have anything I have. I'll give you all my trust.
That ain't 50 Cent?
Show me I'm willing to learn. You gonna give me this time.
50 Cent in the club for 200, Dorigas.
That's me. I got it. Don't play.
Man, I was lost from the go.
I played it for you one time. It's like my little Tina Turner, like little old school type record.
Yeah, once you started singing it, but it didn't sound familiar on paper.
Because he be trying to talk it up like a preacher. Teach me how to love you. Show me I'm willing to learn.
But listen, people on the screens were saying, "Teach me, teach me."
They know,
teach me,
right?
teach me.
Yeah.
I know too.
I had to throw you off.
I know it.
I had you in the beginning.
You did. I was over here. I was concentrating, like, but certain things I was like, yo, I know that. Got it tonight. Do I win anything?
I'll mail it to you.
That's all right. I won this outfit. Darius is my stylist tonight, so thank you, D. I won.
Job well done.
Oh God, Kendall Lamar Taylor. Oh, that was it?
That was it, yeah.
I feel so good that I got it, because I felt so...
I would count on you the whole entire time.
Babe, you probably didn't really think
You
it
know,
was
they're like
50
50
cent.
cents.
Yes. 21 questions, and I don't know nothing now on one of them. I'm going all in, nice. Y'all better stop playing with me.
We
Yeah.
want to thank y'all
Yeah.
for coming back every Tuesday, rocking with us. We just want to salute everybody who's watching too in the middle of this whole COVID pandemic, because we know that it's a lot, which is one of the reasons why I detached, because we're seeing things we thought we would never see before, and whether that's with all of the back and forth debating, election, it's a lot. And so I just want to salute all of y'all who are watching. Real talk. Again, we didn't go to school for none of this. We're just King's kids who've been through a lot of stuff, and we only telling you how we kind of make it through our stuff in a cool way, hoping that it will encourage you, inspire you, and hoping that we can bring some laughter through these phones, to touch you through the screen and just make you feel a little better. So we're going to pray this thing on out, and then we're going to allow DJ Nice to play music, because music is a healer, and it will allow you time to get up wherever you are, in your living room, your bedroom, at work, to just detach and separate yourself from everything that's going on in the world right now. So we appreciate you. I appreciate you, King. I appreciate you, Sean Nice. And Darius, I appreciate you too. Thank you.
They want to know the book that you...
So go on my page, Tasia's Word, and go into my IG story, and the book is right there. And all you have to do is swipe up. I swear to you, it's a dope book, and it is teaching me how to give myself my best yes. And I hope that it'll do the same for you ladies, yeah? Salute, queens.
Really cute salute, too.
Is that cute, huh?
Yay. Let's do it. Father, first and foremost, if there's anything in us that will prevent us from even reaching your throne, forgive us. Wash it away. And if we may humbly ask you, Lord, we ask that you show us how to treat first ourselves, that we can have some sort of idea how to treat other people, that we could treat each other with dignity, with compassion, with patience, with forgiveness, and the support that we all desire and deserve. Show us how to remove our egos, our pride, the callousness around our heart from unforgiveness, and then patience that causes us to pass by people in need and to discount people because they aren't where we think they should be. Let us be mindful that we were once also not there ourselves. So we give it all to you. Thank you for the Taylor Talk. We're just real people having real conversation in real time. But you always show up. So we give you the glory, the praise, and all of the honor. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen.
You got my...